Hi everyone, Tony from Hack the Movies here, and now that the 4th solo Thor film has been released, we decided to go back and check out all his solo adventures, and we're going to decide what is the best and what is the worst Thor movie.
Yay!
Oh, they caught another one.
What happened?
I got alerted that another data broker had my info, and now I have an opt-out request going through to get my information off of there.
Well, I guess we have today's sponsor, Aura, to thank for that.
That's right, it's the app I use to protect my data from hackers, spammers, and scammers.
I used to be someone who wasn't protecting their online identity, until I found Aura.
Aura monitors the dark web looking for your emails, passwords, and more, then sends you fast alerts to your phone.
If you don't check your bank statements every day, you might not know someone is trying to open loans or credit cards under your name.
Aura looks for suspicious activity in your accounts and alerts you right away. Oh, hold on. Hello?
We've been trying to reach you concerning your car's extended warranty.
I hate robocallers.
Luckily, Aura will remove your information from data brokers, which will reduce the amount of robocallers you get.
Identity theft is so common that there's a new victim every 14 seconds, and it usually costs them upwards to $1,000.
Protect your family and yourself from identity theft at aura.com/hackthemovies.
If you sign up right now using my link, you will get a 2-week free trial so you can see for yourself how many times Aura finds you or your family members' personal information on the dark web.
And if you sign up, let me know in the comments below if your information has been compromised. You won't regret checking.
Thanks, Aura. Hello, Crystal.
Hello, Tony.
Hello, Johanna.
Hi, Tony.
How you doing? I see you got into a fight.
Yeah, my eyeball still broke.
Yes, Thor, Love and Thunder.
Eyeball shit. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
but this was just me being like,
coughing.
yeah, like it was like an actual thing, and this goes away. He's just an idiot.
No,
That's
I have a hereditary genetic problem.
You
Anyway,
scratched your eyeball with your own fingernail.
Yes, but it turns out I also had a problem that prevented it from.
Yes.
We're not here to talk about that.
You still did
We're
it.
here to talk about. I didn't do it to the other eye.
Oh my fucking
We're
God.
here to talk
Yeah.
about Thor. We all saw Thor, Love and Thunder, not together.
I got to see it for free because D23, my membership, they were like, here you go see a summer movie.
Oh.
Disney fan club.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well,
So they sent me a free ticket.
I realized
I can't
as
fall
I
free.
sat in the theater alone.
I had someone pay for me.
I said that to you when we went to go see it. I was like, I didn't have to pay. And he's like, you wouldn't have had to pay anyway. And I'm like,
I realized as I sat in the theater alone, I'm like, oh, all 3 out of 4 of these movies I've all seen by myself. I'm like, why do I keep seeing
Would it-
Thor?
I feel like you see movies by yourself.
Thor 1 was by myself, Thor 2 was with Keith,
okay.
and then Thor 3 was by myself, and then this one was by. I see a lot of movies by myself, but
I was gonna see it by myself last night, and I was like, I don't want to see this movie. Like, I was just not intrigued in seeing it at all, and I was like, I'm already angry. I need someone to be angry with, so I forced someone to go with me.
well, let's go all the way back to the first.
Gotta go back to the past.
Back to the past for the first Thor movie. I will read the back of the box here.
Okay.
From the studio that brought you Iron Man.
Ooh.
Ooh, this is phase 1. Remember how fun phase 1 was? Phase 1.
I feel like phase 1 was hit or miss.
It was, but knowing that Avengers was on the way, you kind of forgave some of the shortcomings of it.
It wasn't bad. Like, it was
Yeah.
I think it was nice intros.
Yes, we might actually come back at some point and do like best MCU phase 1, phase 2.
All right.
Anyway, the world has many heroes, but only one is a god. When the arrogant warrior Thor, Chris Hemsworth, Star Trek, he is only in the first scene of that
Yeah,
film.
he's only in
Yeah.
the beginning and dies.
Yeah.
Well, he did also star in Cabin in the Woods and the Red Dawn remake, but both those movies got postponed. So they're like, shit, his starring roles didn't come out yet. He was in the beginning of Star Trek. Is banished to Earth from his homeworld of Asgard. He must fight to reclaim his lost powers. Pursued by an invasion force set to destroy him, the fallen god of thunder must rise to the battle and learn what it takes to become a hero. Natalie Portman, Black Swan, and Anthony Hopkins.
Just Black Swan.
Yeah. Out of all
no,
this
this
stuff.
one's gonna get worse.
Oh no.
I guess they're doing like whatever was recent at the time.
Yeah.
So here we go. Natalie Portman, Black Swan, and Anthony Hopkins, Beowulf.
What?
The CGI Robert Zemeckis Beowulf, which we have
I
somewhere.
actually kind of like Beowulf.
Oh, we should.
Well,
yeah,
would
it's right
you
there.
say,
We have the
like-
director's cut of Beowulf right there.
Well, shit.
Would you say like that's his movie? Like that?
They're going recent.
There's other movies that I'm thinking
Wait,
of before
he's in
that.
other movies? What?
Yeah, they're going for recent. And it's like Beowulf was. They should have known by 2011 that Beowulf wasn't really. Anyway, also star in this blockbuster adventure critics are
Fuck
calling.
Tom Hiddleston, I guess.
Okay, he wasn't big yet. Thrilling, entertaining, and cool by Harry Knowles from Ain't It Cool News. Oh God. Yes. So Thor. I knew the character Thor. I wasn't a big fan of his. It's just, you know what it is? That was the thing with MCU Phase 1. A lot of these characters were not in the cartoons we were growing up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a very short-lived Avengers cartoon, and it was like fucking Ant-Man and shit. It was very, very short-lived. Like,
I don't remember that.
Fantastic Four had a cartoon.
I remember that.
Spider-Man and X-Men were the long-running ones.
Yeah.
So Iron Man had a cartoon. Not many people watched it. So yeah, Thor, I think, wasn't in any of those, or he might have had a brief appearance.
Yeah, I think, because I definitely
Yeah.
have seen him in a cartoon, and it was like
Yeah.
in my past, but
And I read like some comics that had him, but I never really read his comics at the time. I've since gone back and checked it out. And then in the 90s, there was like, remember they all had different replacements. There was U.S. Agent, who's now in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And then there was Thunderstrike, who was in the Thor comics. So I kind of went into this movie blind. I knew a little bit about Norse mythology from The Mask and the son of The Mask, where Loki and Odin show up, and it's Alan Cummings and Bob Hoskins.
I love Alan Cummings. Love Alan Cummings. Met him. He's phenomenal. He's super sweet.
Yes,
Love him,
and
love him.
Kenneth Branagh directed this.
Yeah.
I think this is the second Kenneth Branagh movie we've ever covered on here.
Really?
Directing wise. Yeah, we did Frankenstein, his Frankenstein movie.
I love Frankenstein.
So I went into it and I loved it. This is probably one of my favorites of the Marvel movies, like in the early ones. I had a good time. I'm like, look, I didn't really know this character that well, but I was introduced to his world, and I love the Asgard stuff. I love the fish out of water comedic stuff. I thought Loki was real. I had
great.
no idea how popular Loki was going to become.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston is literally like the whole package. Like, he's got the looks, he's got the voice, the accent. It's just like, yeah.
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 Yeah. And I remember at the time people.
He was supposed to be Thor, by the way.
I know.
Was he really?
Yeah.
I did not know.
Yeah,
that.
he got super buff.
I think the
Really?
the Dark World Blu-ray actually shows his audition videos.
It's really
You chose this. For Outland?
I remember at the time people were mad that they made Heimdall black. And this is 2011, 2010 when they're promoting it. And I remember being like, wow, man, people are complaining about a bunch of bullshit. I hope this isn't a thing. And now it's a thing every.
Why would it be a big
Goddamn.
deal, though? I don't get it.
Let's not even get, it's woke. They didn't have that word yet.
interesting.
They didn't have that word yet. But also, I was like, I don't think anyone
did
really cared about
amazing.
The thing that was bothering me is people are like, that's disrespectful to the Norse mythology. I'm like, it's the Marvel version of shut up.
Yeah.
So that's how I felt about it. What did you think about Thor?
I thought it was okay.
Did you see it when it came out, or did you like binge it later
I
on?
don't fucking remember. I don't remember. During the pandemic, I binge watched every single Marvel movie
Did
in
you do it in
order.
I was gonna say, yeah,
I did
did you
it in
do it in order?
order. And holy fuck.
Yeah.
Woof. So I don't know when I fucking first saw these movies. I
Well,
don't know.
what did you
But
think of the first one?
I liked it. It was definitely hit or miss. I couldn't get on the page. Is it comedy or is it serious? I felt like it didn't blend well.
I thought the first one had a decent blend. I thought the first one had a
It's
decent
weird
blend.
sometimes.
Yeah. It
I need a
definitely had
horse.
little force.
The I Need a Horse is my favorite part of that movie.
I need a horse.
It wasn't bad. It kept my attention, but it was not a movie I would sit there and rewatch over and over. Like it's
Really? I probably rewatched this one the most. Out of
Really?
Phase
Iron
one.
Man was the
No.
one I'd watch like all the time.
I liked Iron Man.
Iron Man might be the best.
Yeah, I agree.
But no, I really enjoyed this one. When did you see this in
I
theaters?
saw this in theaters.
Did you go by yourself?
No, because
Oh.
I'm not a loser. No, I've done no.
Wow,
I've
that's
no,
really
sorry,
mean.
No, I'm just kidding. I actually go to movies by myself
You
sometimes.
know, our audience is 90% male, and I'm sure a lot of them have gone to the movies by themselves. You just made them really sad. Apologize.
Wait, are you saying the
Apologize.
females don't feel like maybe the 10% of the females
Y'all
also
look at
A bunch
Bring that
of
number down.
losers.
You said 90. You said 90. I was
Losers,
just trying to go over
they're
your
fighting.
math.
Sorry.
Losers. No, you're not
Sorry.
losers. I go see the movies by myself. too.
Sorry. I was about to say 10% is generous for
They're still
female.
going.
Anyway.
But yeah, I liked it. I felt like something was off though.
Well, I know what was off about this movie.
It was the kiss at the end.
No.
Where they're supposed to be smooching, and if you've seen Chris Hemsworth, or if you've seen Natalie Portman, wouldn't you be like, oh, well, that's going to be a hot ass
Fuck
kiss?
Yeah, but it wasn't.
I was like, what is
It was
that?
anticlimactic.
No. Do you know what was off about this film? Because I have the answer.
What's your answer?
His fucking helmet. He has it on for one scene. He takes it off and it stays
I
off.
don't think that's what turned me off about this movie.
No, that's what it was. He didn't have. They actually had a
was the
deleted scene
helmet.
about how he doesn't like wearing the helmet. I'm like, shut up. You're supposed to wear the helmet with the. And it was. That's the thing. They put a poster out of him wearing the helmet. I'm like, that's an awesome helmet. It looks way better than I thought it would. And then he never wears it again.
That's kind of funny because they he mentions how he hates wearing the helmet in the new movie.
Yeah.
That's actually funny. I didn't know he didn't like wearing it.
Yeah,
Oh, that's funny.
They cut out that scene. So, but now it just always bothered me that he wasn't wearing
He
the
apparently
helmet.
had a problem with the eye patch too, so that's why they ended up CGIing it.
That makes sense.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
but yeah, the whole time, like, where's the
That's
helmet?
pain.
Oh, he got it.
Maybe he's just like, yo, I'm beautiful. You can't cover me. Like, I need to be seen at all times.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
Look, when it comes to superhero like helmets and masks, that's one where you still see a lot of the face, and you didn't have to wear it all the time. Just like in battle. In battle, it would have been nice. But no, there are some issues with like the script, I think, because it's like, all right, the frost giants attack Asgard, so they go to fight the frost giants.
Yeah.
Against his father's wishes.
Yes.
And his father's like, you like broke this peace treaty. Like I know.
Silence.
Yeah, he's like, I know they broke the peace treaty, but like we're gonna let it slide because we don't want an all-out war. Fuck you. You need to learn how to not be an asshole.
Yeah.
Go to Earth.
I'm gonna strip you of everything. Go
Yeah,
first.
Yeah.
and you're gonna go to New Mexico and hang out with Earthlings. So you have to know what it's like to live amongst them, even though you're the god of thunder and you're very familiar with Earth. You've been there a bunch of times, and that will make you respect the frost giants and want to save them.
I think it was supposed to be like lower beings.
Yeah.
I guess that's the idea, but
No,
yeah.
Earthlings are
No,
always.
I get it.
Yeah.
Earthlings
Yeah.
are always the lowest beings out of the entire
Why are they-
universe.
Go to Midgard.
Why are they in New Mexico? Why wouldn't he send them to like?
I guess that's
I
where
don't
the
know.
lowest human beings live. I don't know.
Where are the Vikings from again?
Asgard, you mean?
No, like real Vikings. Norway?
Oh, yeah.
Norway.
Yeah, send them there.
I mean, they go there eventually.
No, I would say Norway probably has like the best human beings. You gotta go somewhere in
Apparently,
America.
they're happy there.
I've seen the Northmen, okay?
Oh my god.
I mean, if they all look like that, then holy shit, I guess they do have the best. Although Anna Taylor-Joy's character was not from Norway in that. But anyway,
I can't.
the Northman was good. No, it's on Peacock, you assholes. Why is the episode not rebounding?
I'm not in it.
Shut up. It's available. Go watch it. Yeah, I like Natalie Portman. They changed her character a lot. I think she's a nurse. She's a nurse in the comics. They got rid of the do you know the early Thor comics, like what the whole thing was? Odin put Thor into a crippled guy called Donald Blake, which they reference in that movie. And like Donald Blake would like bang his cane and it would turn into Thor and he would fight crime.
I
Sure.
didn't know that existed.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
they eventually phased that out of the comics, but that's
Yeah.
why they have the name drop where she's like, "These are my ex's clothes," and it's Donald Blake.
Oh,
they-
that's kinda cool.
So
I
it's like
like
a wink
that.
and a nod because I think they went more by the Ultimate comics, where I think in the Ultimate comics when they introduced Thor, like no one took him seriously. They're like,
Yeah.
"What the hell? This guy's not a god."
I like Natalie Portman's character though in this. I think
You
I
like
like
her
her
in it?
being a scientist.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I like her understanding the science. it's the whole science versus magic aspect. I truly love that. And the fact that, magic is pretty much just science that's explained.
Until the last one where I'm like, all right, now they're just making shit up.
I mean, yeah, but that one.
I like the idea of the rainbow bridge because it was like, how are they? Yeah. There was like, how are they going to pull that off? And I like that it's like a big giant crystal with like rainbow energy in it. I like the Bifrost. The Bifrost look kind of like the arc reactor that Iron Man had at the bottom. And I was like, is there some kind of connection there? But I guess not.
Yeah, nothing happened with that.
Yeah, and I think it's a solid, good time. The actors are good. And it gave us Loki, who we did not expect we were all going to like that much.
I love Loki.
His scenes, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he was yelling at him on the steps or whatever when he finds out.
Yeah, he's like, what the hell? I'm a tiny frost giant?
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me?
He has a great balance of comedy versus serious and mischief. Like, I think he plays, that's what Loki is this mischievous character.
The god of mischief.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but he plays it so well.
I like his supporting characters. Hogan.
Ray Stevenson.
I'm forgetting all their names. Why am I only remembering Hogan's name?
I don't know.
Fendril was one of them.
I don't know their names.
He was recasted, right? The one.
Fendril was. They replaced him with the guy who played Shazam.
Freaking Zachary Levi.
Yes. But I like those supporting characters. I like when they wander in town. The Shield is like, we got.
Chick. I love the chick.
Yeah. The Shield is like, we got.
Sif, yeah.
He's like, we got Robin Hood, Jack.
Xena Warrior Princess.
Yes!
Sif was good.
I like Sif. She was probably honest. I don't know, it's just because I like badass chicks.
Yeah.
But like.
They eventually
I liked her.
They kind of phased her out of the movies. I know she got really.
Yeah, she got hurt.
The second movie, she got injured like really bad.
Really, I didn't know that.
And then she
was
was
a horse.
Something like that. I think she actually might not
She hurt her back.
She might have fell down like stairs or something. I don't know if it was like
it was a set thing.
I don't know. I'd have to check it again. Okay. Jessica, put up how she hurt her back. But by the time they were doing the third one, she was on that show Blind Spot, which I watched the first 2 seasons of. She had all the tattoos and I don't know how it ended, but I like the first 2 seasons.
Back in the new one.
She does, and Loki, she came back. She was on a couple episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but like she never really became this like it was weird. She wasn't there for Endgame or any of that.
Yeah.
It's like you couldn't like fly her in for that.
I would love to see almost like a spin-off of her or like kind of that world without Thor.
Yeah. Well, I feel bad because then they're like, well, we need strong ladies. Here's Valkyrie. Here's Lady Thor. That's what I'm calling her.
I love
but it's like, wait, we had Sif.
Mighty Thor.
Where's Sif?
She's there. She's
not a lot.
Not a lot.
But anyway.
I love, we'll get into Lady Valkyrie, but holy shit, I love her.
Tessa Thompson.
So Thor comes out. I remember people not being crazy about it when it came out.
It was fine.
Yeah.
I literally say it's an okay movie.
Yeah.
Gets the point across. You get the story. Like, characters are likable. Like,
it was good
a lot of women I know who weren't watching superhero movies suddenly started paying attention to superhero movies.
It's Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of girls I knew in college who didn't know if you said Thor, they'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And suddenly they're real into Thor. The only thing wrong with him, and Kevin Feige even said this is a mistake, the dyed blonde eyebrows, which disappear in the other movies.
Oh, got that.
Yeah, those kind of took you out of it. You're like, but it set up some stuff too. It set up the Tesseract. Hawkeye was set up.
I do love the fact that Hawkeye was in there.
Yeah, the Tesseract was set up.
Yes.
And this was a setup for our villain of the Avengers.
Yeah, it was a great start.
Yes. Again, the script.
No, great start. Yes.
The script could have been a little bit better, but it's whatever. There is like a reference to the original comic, which we talked about in the Superman episode. There's a billboard, and it's like New Mexico, land of enchantment, and then it says Journey into Mystery, which was where the first Thor story came from. Do you know who he fought in the first Thor stories?
You're gonna tell us.
The first issue, he fought Cronins, which is what Korg is.
Yeah.
The big rock monsters, and he fights them in the next one. So yeah, in between Avengers comes out. It's like the biggest movie ever.
Yep.
Everyone loves it. Everyone who skipped Thor finally knows who Loki is. So they've gone back and they've watched Thor 1. And a few years later, Thor the Dark World. Directed by some guy, Alan Taylor, who would go on to direct Terminator Genesis.
Jesus Christ. Whew.
Great career there.
Do you want to read this one?
Sure.
The third one doesn't have a description on the back, so
Good.
Okay, here we go.
Speaking.
Thor: The Dark World.
Worlds collide when a powerful, ancient enemy threatens to plunge the cosmos into eternal darkness. Experience this action-packed adventure featuring exclusive bonus content. That's it then. The rest
That's
is
it?
just describing about the
bonus.
Well, let us know about the 3D Blu-ray.
Oh, Jesus.
Because that's all there is in the
Featuring
movie.
exclusive bonus content, including a gag reel, deleted scenes, and a new Marvel short film available on Blu-ray 3D combo pack.
Oh yeah, that's when they started putting the short.
Wait,
films
when
on.
does he ever have a crow?
He does? He
Or
does.
Raven. No, it's a raven because it's
Yeah, it's
Odin.
ravens. He does when they reintroduce Asgard. They like fly and he catches them and then they fly again.
I do not remember that at all.
Yes. So Thor: The Dark
I
World.
remember this movie.
Yes. Let me see this. Thor.
What was the bad guy's name again? Not like the actor. I forget.
I know it's Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
That's what I wanted.
So yeah, Thor comes out. Oh, this is there was another poster where he had like a cut on his head, and I was like, wow, I wonder what could have prevented that cut on his head.
Oh my god.
Yes, Thor: The Dark World. I was excited for it as someone who really loved Thor 1. And
I wanted
me
to
and
see more Loki. Tom
Yes.
Hiddleston.
Yeah.
he did the thing where he went at
He was still
Comic-Con.
good in this.
Yeah.
Yes. I think he's good in everything.
No, my favorite was the trailer where they show him in prison with this messy hair and he looked like Tommy Wiseau, and they would add
everybody-
to
Yes, he does.
I
Yes, he
remember
does.
the memes.
And like, I don't hate this movie like other people do. It definitely is a step going more serious.
Yeah.
I think it was a little too dark.
Yeah.
I don't think it was
They
too...
also didn't do anything with the elves.
Oh, yeah, you forget the elves were even really... It's just that's all it was.
No.
Oh, it's like this evil elf...
Yeah,
It
the-
didn't
that was it.
feel like there was anything at stake, really.
There
You know
was
what I mean?
nothing.
Well, the elves, what is it? The elves had
Dark
the
elves, sorry.
ether,
Yes.
and they wanted the universe to be dark like it used to be
But that's-
because the sun doesn't like them. The sun offends them,
Didn't
therefore
something
they...
happen to their world too, or something?
Yeah, Thor's grandfather fucked it up.
Yeah.
And then he hid the ether from them. But yeah, so they Malekith, that's his
Yeah,
name.
Malekith.
They reawaken because the ether is found.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, because there's a convergence, so portals are opening.
And then when Natalie Portman ends up, it falls into it, and
Yes.
Ether wakes up and goes into her, and all
Yes.
that other fun shit. Yeah.
The scene where they're testing the portal and the one dude throws the car key
And it just disappears.
It doesn't come back.
Are those the car keys?
That is funny.
I did like all the portal stuff in this. But
did-
yeah, so she's investigating that. She hasn't seen Thor because the Bifrost was destroyed,
Yep.
but she did see him on TV.
Yep.
Yeah, so she finds the ether and wakens up the elves.
She just happens to find the ether. It just
Yes.
happens. Like, out of all the places in the world, she is the one that just happens to find this portal.
Look,
and
plot
happens.
needs to happen, Crystal.
God
Plot
damn, out
needs
of
to happen.
everyone in the world, like, because she's actually in a different country. She's not even in
Yeah, they're in Europe.
Europe, yeah.
Were they in London?
Yes, because she's dating the guy from Bridesmaids and a
Yeah.
bunch of those other movies.
So she just happens to be in London and just happens.
With Darcy.
Yeah,
We forgot to mention
I
Kat Dennings was in this.
love Kat Dennings. I
there's-
love her, love her, love her. love her.
Kat Dennings does stuff to me. I can't
She
watch
does
her.
something
Skarsgård.
to everyone. Everyone.
Skarsgård, Dad.
Stellan Skarsgård.
Stellan, right? It's
Skarsgård.
Skarsgård?
Yes.
Okay.
She is just, I think she's hilarious. I think she's great. I think she just has this humor I just really love, and she's just beautiful and funny.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I like about her.
She's literally she's a quirky Audrey Plaza. Instead
lot
of
of-
being all like monotone all the time, whatever,
Oh,
she's
yeah,
more like,
she
oh.
is.
I thought people thought she was annoying. I didn't.
A lot of people think she's annoying.
I didn't find her
don't
that
think
annoying.
that.
I don't.
People used to think she was like the worst part of these movies. I'm like, eh. She was kind of annoying in this one, but overall, I'm like, she's fine.
Mew mew.
Yeah. Yeah, she can't pronounce the word yum yum. Yes. So eventually the elves attack Asgard. Loki kind of leads them where they have to go.
Yeah, he was locked in the prison because this opens up with Loki getting arrested.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
being
And
locked away.
meanwhile,
Because-
Thor is going to different realms because it's all gone to chaos.
Well, the
Yeah.
reason why they let Loki out is because Loki can, right? I'm thinking of the right
No, they
thing?
didn't let him out.
They didn't let him
Is
out.
it the third one thinking of why they let him out?
No.
Because the mom did the mom die in this one?
The mom died in this
Thor
one, yeah.
So the
So
mom-
he tells them where to go, hoping that
Yeah,
they'll
he's
kill
like,
Thor.
because he's standing in the prison. He's like,
That's
oh,
what
try,
I'm thinking of. I'm thinking that they let him
Try
out.
the hall
That's right.
Yeah.
way on the left or whatever it is.
but it leads to his mom being murdered.
Yeah.
And he's sad about
Very
that.
sad about
And
that.
and he wants the reason he wants revenge is what he wants.
And then
Yes.
Thor lets him out.
that's
Yes.
that's what I'm trying to
Because
say.
they have to after that, like, Odin goes a little nuts. He wears the fucking feathered helmet. Everyone is wearing helmets at that funeral except for Thor. It's like, you son of a bitch.
Loki also always like wears his helmet.
Yeah, he does.
He has the more annoying one. 'cause it's
Yeah.
like-
The big one with the horns. Yeah, I love that one. Yeah, and it turns into this adventure where they have to like get out of Asgard without the Bifrost, and it leads into this exciting finale where there's like these portals and everyone's going in and out of portals and they're flying around
and
the
they
universe.
just happen to be near a portal at the what was it when they're trying to get back to Earth? They just
Yes.
happen to be
Yes.
near another portal.
And it like
Oh, it's also what was it when Natalie Portman, Jane found the ether?
Yeah.
It's like slowly killing her.
It's slowly
by the
killing her,
way.
yes.
We forgot to mention that.
She's always like slowly dying.
Yes.
It's fine.
Yeah, what the fuck?
so
She's just slowly dying.
so after you saw this, what did you like about it? I guess.
I liked everything with Loki. I liked his death.
He dies so many times.
He really does.
Oh, I love
Chemistry is still good with Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything else.
Yeah. What did
I actually have to.
I like the mom.
yeah.
The mom she's been
She was
good.
pretty
She was
awesome.
also good in
Renee
House of
Russo.
Fat.
That was like Renee Russo. She had it when Thor 1. She hadn't been in a movie in like a while, and then she was in Thor 1. She's just kind of there. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, why didn't? Oh,
They should have used her. They
Yeah.
should have. She's a great actress.
Yeah.
I like
And they
her.
gave
Can
her-
actually fight.
they gave her more
Yeah.
to do in this. They gave her like that big scene in Endgame to like motivate him. So they gave her stuff to do. But yeah, it was kind of weird in the first movie. They're like, hey, Renee Russo's back. She's just gonna hang out. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I did like the wacky portal stuff. I love the gag where like if Thor goes through a portal, the hammer doesn't understand what a portal is, so it just goes into space and starts looking
love
for
that
him.
that the weapons have their own personalities.
Yeah, and like that's the thing. There's funny comedic bits in this,
But there's not money.
but they're surrounded by just like this drab,
Yeah.
desaturated
Yeah.
misery where like they don't really. This is the one where I think the comedy doesn't stick out because I do like when he loses the hammer and he's just like he has to take the train. He's like, "Where does this train go?" And they're like over there. He's like, "Okay, cool." I like all that. The villain sucks. Malekith.
It sucks because I love
forgettable.
the actor.
Yeah, I
It's
know
like
what you guys
another.
do.
It's like another like Guardians of the Galaxy with like Ronan. Ronan at least like he felt like a threat, but
Yeah.
they still could have done more with him.
Yeah.
And then it was super like hyped that he was going to be back in Captain Marvel, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm definitely going to go see this. And then he just shows up at the end. And
But what the
just
hell
like
is he
nothing.
going to do? Did you see how stunning and brave she was?
oh my god.
Ronan looked at her and he's like, I don't know how to deal with that. I don't know how to deal with that. I can deal with the Tree Man, Green Lady, but Brie Larson, that's too much for me. He said that to Thanos.
I liked Brie better when she was Envy Adams.
When she was like a mean person who cheats. Wow.
See, did you actually read Scott Pilgrim?
I did.
Well, then you're wrong.
I think
That's
might
not
be-
what happened.
I think I might be the only person in this office who has read it.
I'm not in this
Besides
office.
you.
You said only person.
He did say only person. He did.
Thank you.
Yeah, Malekith kind of sucks.
Yeah.
They figure out a way to give him the half black face.
But
where,
still,
yeah.
this movie is just so forgettable. I feel like
It really
I
is.
could not remember
Literally, all
what
you remember,
happened.
like all you need to know is, okay, the mom died, Loki actually died, and then
No.
he's not actually dead. He took over and
It-
has a throne.
It
He's
is-
he
pretending to
took
be
over
Odin.
the dad's body.
Yeah, it is funny how much this influenced.
I think it's just an
image.
illusion.
The image. That's what
It
I
is
meant.
funny, like how important this movie is to the overall lore. But when you go watch a movie, you're like, eh.
Yeah.
It just fills you in with some information that just watch.
Oh,
it
and then
once and you're
obviously
good.
they found another Infinity Stone. Obviously,
Yes.
because that was the easy.
That was that's the
Yeah,
I mean,
and I
that's
did-
what it's a setup. Like you need it, but it was just like, nah.
Yeah.
I did like seeing more of Asgard though. They actually go around Asgard a
do.
little bit more
I like
this
that little
time.
chase scene or whatever where Loki had to like
With the
go
flying
to the portal
boats,
to,
yeah.
like the exact spot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like you would crash.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So that comes out. People are
I
like,
wish it was
eh.
like. I love dark movies, but it didn't have like that dark humor. Like it
Yeah.
just didn't work, and then
Yeah.
it wasn't dark to where it was just like a pathetic dark.
What did you say? Drab?
Yeah,
Yeah,
drab.
I guess drab is the right. Yeah,
That-
It wasn't-
that
it
was
just
like-
There was like
dark.
no
It was
life in
just-
it. It felt like it was like sucked out.
So this is like a
Yeah.
trend that they were doing for a while, and I think they might have finally stopped because it's like Thor 1, bright, colorful, blah, 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 then this. And then it reminds me of Star Trek 2009. Bright, fun, exciting, action. There's some drama, there's some sadness, but it's like this colorful, fun adventure. And then the second one, they're like, everything's going to be dark blue and gray.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to be sad and miserable. And we're going to cast the whitest guy in the world to play an Indian for some reason. And then what other movies did this? There's the Harry Potters were doing this.
The Harry
Harry
Potter's
Potter's had different like colors and each.
So-
Yeah, but as you go watch that series, like the color just gets
You know
sucked out
how
of that
I
series.
know this so well is because I literally production managed when the orchestra plays live music to
Yeah.
the movies, and we do it every single movie gets darker and darker where people start complaining, and I'm like, listen, we have 220K 220Ks going on it, so that way it's going to be brighter, but we get more and more complaints as the movie goes on because you still need the orchestra to be little lit so they can read their music.
Yeah.
It's so hard to fucking see
Yeah.
it.
Those sequels just get really dark and
To
dark.
be
and dark.
honest, though, they actually in the story get darker too.
Yeah, but that was the
Like,
thing,
it's
they-
like more losing your talent because if you watch the Warner Brothers logo in the beginning of the Harry Potter movies,
Yeah.
they get more like messed up as the time goes on.
That was like a
Yeah.
thing like studios were doing. I think.
But
it was-
I think that worked for that. It doesn't work
yeah.
with this.
Well, even like Iron Man 2, it's like Iron Man's fun, and it's like, oh, this time he's dying and sad. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, well. And then also in Iron Man 2, they're like, we don't know what the ending is. We shot 2 of them. Here's one. It's like, well, they both kind of sucked. So I'm glad we're kind of out of that phase where it's like, we got to go darker.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
gotta-
good darker.
They were all taking the wrong lessons from The Dark Knight.
I was just gonna say that. I was
They
just
were like,
gonna say
they're like, that one was dark, and that's why it was good. It's like, well, no, the script was good, the acting was good. That's a character where that works.
Yeah.
Like, I think you've taken all the wrong. And then when they did Amazing Spider-Man, remember they were advertising it?
Yeah.
It's like, it's dark and it's origin. It's like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
DC is just dark. I mean, that's why I also love DC. Is just I love
Mm.
that darker vibe. But Marvel is just a colorful fighting Disney thing. Like,
Yeah.
you can make it dark, sure, but you gotta make sure you do it right. And they didn't do it
Yeah.
right.
And actually, I guess Empire Strikes Back is what they're all trying to be.
They'll never be.
How they're trying to, how that one was, but that one still felt like Star Wars. There was still like color and fun and
think
exciting.
It just got a little darker.
It raised the stakes
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit, and yeah,
I think Empire Strikes Back is the best one.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
Hands
it's
down.
absolutely amazing.
yeah. And I think like even today, movies are trying to do that, but it's just like, yeah, well, you gotta find a right balance, and this one,
Yeah.
did not do a good job of that. But then Thor, he goes on for another adventure in the Avengers.
Another Thor adventure.
Another classic Thor adventure.
Yes.
In Avengers. But oh yeah, that was the weird thing. They put in like the post-credit sequence, him coming back with Jane. And I'm like, I feel like
The
that.
post credits are always so weird.
Yeah, and there's like a monster running around London or whatever. But yeah, his mom's dead. His brother is dead.
Yeah, but Loki actually has a throne, so the dad's missing.
I did like when he's like, Dad, you want the hammer? And he's like, no, it's yours, because he physically
Yeah.
can't hold the hammer. I will say, the scene, the one thing I like is the scene where like, I like the elves' masks. And when they're in like the red light.
elves
and
look great.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just they're boring.
They're so boring.
Yeah.
They're just not.
Although the one,
There's no
Mr. Echo
risk.
from Lost, who was also in Mummy Returns, he turns into that big like monster suit, which was kind of a practical effect for most of it. And I'm like, wow, don't see those anymore.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah.
Yeah, what? Oh, they filmed in Iceland. Or no, Greenland? No. What's the one? Iceland. They went to
Iceland's the one that's not so icy.
Yes. They went to film in Iceland for all the Dark World stuff and did all this location stuff. And in the end, the final product, there's so much digital sky replacement. It's like, so you flew out there just to get the black
That happens in
sand?
so many movies.
It's
so
like-
many movies.
Like, I wonder if they like changed their mind after, because they filmed on location in Iceland. It's like, but it's so changed. Like, this means nothing now. Like, you could have just did this in a studio. Why did you travel out there?
It could also be tax credit. I actually heard
Maybe?
maybe Iceland or Greenland. One of them has actually really good tax credits for filmmaking. I know that different countries are now competing and trying to make things better. So a lot of people are now trying to shoot other places. It could just be that.
I want to go to Greenland.
I want to go to Iceland. I want to go to Greenland. I want to get out. I want to go to everywhere. I want to go everywhere.
I'm
I want to go Croatia.
I'm pausing for fans of the Dick Show to get that joke.
Oh.
One day I'm going to go to Greenland. Anyway, it's a suicide joke. Anyway, so Avengers Age of Ultron comes out. That one's not very Thor-ish. That movie has its issues too.
Yeah.
But yeah, he ends up going back to Asgard, or he's traveling the universe now. He's like, okay, the Infinity Stones are starting to pop up. Something's going on. He's like, oh, he's clued in on Thanos. So he's traveling the galaxy looking for clues that will lead to who's trying to do all this Infinity Stone shit.
He's being responsible.
Yes.
Which you don't see that as much as we go on of a responsible Thor.
Yes. And when Scarlet Witch was messing with his head, he got a vision of Ragnarok.
Yep.
So he is trying to figure out what that's all about, and he meets Surtur in Thor Ragnarok. Surtur,
Surtur, I think.
who's Clancy Brown.
Yeah.
Mr. Krabs.
Yes.
And every voice thing, and the Kurgan from Highlander. But he's basically like, when my skull goes to the eternal flame, I will kill him. He's like, cool. So he just rips his skull off. So this movie is by Taika Waititi. But it's written by, I was looking up the writers. They wrote like a bunch of Marvel animated movies and stuff that is like Marvel related.
That's probably what they should have done
This is
in the first
important.
place.
This is important for the next movie. So obviously Taika's adding, I'm sure a lot of it was ad-libbed and whatnot. And I love his movies.
Jojo Rabbit.
No, I didn't see that one. I don't think dressing up like Hitler's. I mean, if Taika
Oh my
Waititi
God.
loves to dress like Hitler and dance around, that's on him. I personally think you should.
Just hit him.
I personally think you
hit him.
shouldn't dress like Hitler
I
and
can't
dance
reach.
around. That's just me.
You can reach.
I know you feel differently. But anyway, I loved What We Do in the Shadows.
Hit him. I do like that one.
That movie is phenomenal. I've never seen the one he did, the Lion versus... What's the one he did, Lion versus Eagle or something? I never saw that one. I never saw the Wilder People movie he did. But yeah, What We Do in the Shadows, that became like one of my favorite comedies, and the TV show's great.
He's in
it's back now.
He's in that gay pirate show now.
Oh yeah, I need to
Blackbeard.
check that out.
Oh my god.
Is it good?
Something sail.
Our flag means...
Our flag means death.
Yes. Here's what really prepared him to do a superhero film? He's in another superhero film.
Okay.
He is the friend in the Green Lantern movie starring Ryan Reynolds.
No.
A character that was actually Asian in the comics, but I guess Taika Waititi's cool for stealing Asian characters and replacing them with him. I think they should have had an Asian character play it, but if Taika wants to appropriate that, that's fine.
Where do you want to bang your head against that wall or that wall?
Why
are you so woke?
He's very
Tony.
progressive.
Woke. My name's Tony Paluzzo from Hack the Movies. Woke.
Did you see that fight I got into a couple weeks back?
I say woke really well like that.
Woke.
Did you see the guy fighting with me on Twitter because all I said was...
Tony, I don't pay attention to your tweets.
All I said was...
Pay attention to him.
No, I think he's shadow banned for me because I never see his tweets on my home feed.
Lucky you.
You respond to so much shit.
I literally have to go look.
No, a guy accused me of being...
Sometimes.
This cracked me up. A guy
I'm
accused
like,
me
what's
of being...
going on? What am I not being invited to?
I was being accused of being an SJW and woke.
You are woke.
Because all I said was Lightyear failed because it looked boring and weird and...
I saw this.
Yeah. And then he's like, no, it failed because the woke scene. I'm like, well... It's like, and even to his own admission, he's like, they added it really late. It's like, yeah, a year after everyone I know in the real world, not on Twitter, said, that looks weird. I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
So apparently I'm
No one
woke
cares
now,
about
which is news to
Woke.
me. I can never really tell what the internet thinks I am. It's really hard. I can't really...
I mean, we can all agree on one thing.
What's that?
You're a jackass.
Oh,
Oh, we all knew that one.
I thought it was going to be handsome. Thor Ragnarok. So yeah, Thor has to stop... Well, he thinks he has to stop Ragnarok.
Yep.
He goes back to Asgard. He finds out his brothers pretending. The play is good in this movie. The play is really good, where they recap the second
Matt
film.
Damon.
Yeah.
love that.
Do you know who plays Thor in the play? It's Chris Hemsworth's older brother.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not Liam. I think it's his older brother.
one.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely not Liam.
And you know who played Odin?
Sam
Sam Neill.
Yeah.
which is, hey, he actually looked pretty good as Odin. I'm like, fuck, you've both done a good job. Yeah, so you find out like Loki's been pretending to be Odin, having a fun time.
Frickin' what's his face? Carl Urban is also in this.
Carl Urban, yes.
Yeah.
He is in this. Yeah, that's right. This is only MCU thing,
Yeah.
is this. So yeah, now they're on this mission. He's like, Loki, you suck. And I like how he convinces him to reveal himself by calling the hammer. It's like, well,
I also like that you had one job.
yeah.
Thor! Odin's son! You had one job.
I don't know, he's just like, well, you know, you're Odin. The hammer won't hurt you. And he's like, but they have to go on a mission to find Odin on Earth.
Yep.
Because
they go
Loki,
to the, what was it, the retirement home and it's being demolished.
because that's where he left him.
Yep.
And they have to get a little help. Well, Doctor Strange finds out that Loki's on Earth and gets rid of him. This is the only time Doctor Strange wore the famous yellow gloves.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Because he wears them in the post-credit sequence, which is just a scene from this movie in the first Doctor Strange. And after this, I don't remember him wearing the yellow gloves ever again.
Nope.
I like Doctor Strange in this. Because I wasn't
I do too.
super big on his movie.
No.
Same. No, same.
Yeah, I didn't. I was not a. I
Yeah.
just didn't care.
Yeah.
It just got annoying to me.
But
Also,
I
like, I saw enough Benedict Cumberbatch for like in my lifetime at that point, whatever, because I was on Tumblr a lot, and it just, I was like, I can't see this freaking man anymore.
Yeah.
Nothing really against him. I think he's a great actor and everything.
I'll
but it's just
never,
like,
I'll
oh my
never
God.
forget. I'll never forget cursing at the screen in Star Trek Into Darkness when he said he was Khan. That was the time I actually did yell in the theater. Not like Afterlife, where I was just talking loudly. Yes, I like Doctor Strange as a supporting character.
Same.
Yes. And I think what helped with the new movie is that there's a million characters that he feels like a supporting character. But he's good in the Avengers films and whatnot. I'm just not really into his solo stuff.
No. It just.
No. Again, a lot of the new
I
one.
liked Multiverse of Madness more mainly because it was just Scarlet Witch. It was freaking.
He's sharing like
Elizabeth
the screen
Olsen.
time, and actually, I like Wong. I really like Wong now. So
I've always liked Wong.
yeah,
I think he was like literally the best part of Doctor Strange.
yeah. But anyway, he tells them where Odin is. Now this sequence is completely reshot.
Really?
If you couldn't tell, oof.
I don't think I really paid attention.
When they watch it again closely, when they go to visit Odin, it is mostly green screen and rotoscope. They shot this entire sequence in the city. And if you go back and watch the original trailer, when Hela shows up, she's in like an alleyway. But they couldn't reshoot it, so they had to rotoscope it. So if you look, like their hair looks really bad in a couple shots.
Oh, I didn't realize
It looks rough.
that.
And if you actually go back, and are there deleted scenes on this? Fuck. I wish I could see the deleted scenes, because when they were producing this film, they showed Anthony Hopkins on the street as a bum with a bum eye patch, and he's got like signs like the end of the world is here. So I think originally they were going to find him in New York as a bum.
Yeah.
And then Hela was going to show up. But then
That probably was a little too mean.
Yeah, they decided to reshoot it, but obviously they couldn't reshoot all of it. So there's this awkward rotoscope. And it sucks because it's a nice, like, sweet scene.
It's a good
Yeah, that's why I think that they got rid of the bum thing, because also you don't really want to hate Loki. You know what I mean? I think that would make people hate Loki.
Yeah, but like it's just awkward because like you could see when you actually take a look at it, you're like, ooh, I remember being in the theater being like, oh, that's rough. That's rough. But yeah, so Odin finally dies. And because of this, his daughter shows up.
I love her.
Kate Blanchett, she's pretty good in this.
She's really good. She is fucking killer in this.
She loved it too. Like
bet
her
she did.
voice and everything. With
Yeah.
oh my God.
It's weird when
she
you
was
can
having
tell. You can tell when actors love their role, and this is definitely one of them.
I love the memes with her. I love the one where it's like her from Lord of the Rings, all beautiful, and then the meme is like listens to Cradle of Filth once, and then it's her with the makeup. And she's strong. She can destroy Mjolnir.
It just went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's like, by the way, you have a secret sister.
Yeah.
When I die, she's
interesting.
when I die, she's back. look out for her.
Good luck, bye. Sprinkle, 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 sprinkle.
Yes.
It's like, hey, Dad, could you have prepared us just a, huh?
Yeah, but like, there were images of her, and no one decided.
Well, they were hidden.
Oh yeah, they were hidden.
That's the thing.
That's
so,
right. But how do you
Odin
really,
changing history.
but, like,
yeah,
how do
they
you
worked
hide
that in.
It used to be
so
her
well?
story, and he changed it to his story.
If you,
Whoa.
this movie changing Odin and Asgard to formerly be bad guys was a little woke to me.
Oh my God.
Woke.
But like, okay, so she was clearly known a lot, but yet no one told them that she existed. How many people actually
No, they
knew
like
of her?
purposely like erased her.
No one knows who she is.
No one knows.
Except for
Odin knows.
I thought other people
Was
no.
Freya the mom?
No, I think it was a
No.
previous one. He's been around for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, so no one knows about Hela. She's hidden.
Forgotten memory.
Yes. Which happened. Like there's been periods in history where they've like tried to like erase the memory of someone and whatnot. But they get transferred. They get attacked in the Bifrost.
Yeah.
And then fuck all this Thor stuff. We're on Planet Hulk now. Because Universal fucking sucks. And Marvel was trying to work with them to do another solo Hulk film. According to Mark Ruffalo, like they're just super difficult to work with. And they wanted to do Planet Hulk, which is a great comic. It's a great comic, not the best animated movie. And like it got to the point where they were like, fuck it, we're gonna squeeze it into Thor 3. And I remember being like real disappointed about that. I'm like, man, because that's a really good story. But we find out the whole, how the fuck did he get there? I didn't realize the Quinjets could go into space. Did he like wander into a portal or
I
something?
don't remember
I would assume-
how they got there. Did they say it?
No,
How
he just
got
said
there? No, right?
Quinjet.
It was,
Yeah.
it was the end of Avengers 2. Remember
Yeah, when
he,
it-
like,
yeah.
left?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I guess
And
he
it just
went into
happened-
space and he happened to get there.
But the scene after that,
Another
Nick Fury,
happened.
Devil's
to be.
anus.
the scene after that, Nick Fury talks about something that crashed in the water. So I don't think they meant for him to go to space.
Yeah,
but-
they did say he crashed in the water, didn't they?
Well, they said something crashed and it might be him, but now we don't know what that is. Well, remember, the reason him and Thor left after Avengers 2, because they were like, fuck, they can't be on either one's side in Civil War, because they'll even the playing ground. Like, we got to get them out. We got to get them away from here.
Yeah.
So they find out, like, Hulk has been on the planet for a few years now, and
he
he's like a
doesn't
warrior.
realize who he is. And
No, he's been Hulk the entire
yeah,
time.
he's just Hulk.
Because that was the thing from the Planet Hulk comics, where it's just like, because everything is constantly trying to kill him and his adrenaline's constantly pumping. So
Yeah.
like he only turns into Bruce Banner maybe once or twice in the entire run of that
Yeah.
book. But that book is also where we get Korg and Meek. I think Meek becomes a bad guy at some point in the book.
Meek's a girl.
In the book, I think
Meek's
it was
a girl.
Does Meek turn into a girl?
I just know Meek's a girl in Ragnarok and Love and Thunder.
Yes, but I think in the book they're like the secret bad guy. But yeah, so all these characters come from that.
Yeah.
And even the planet, even though this is nowhere near remotely what the planet was like, Sakaar is from that. Yeah, we get all this. I love this whole location.
Jeff Goldblum.
Holy shit.
As the
it's
Celestial-
hilarious.
Amazing.
So his character is like full on blue in the comics.
Okay.
And he didn't want to do it because he's in that old movie with Jim Carrey, Earth Girls Are Easy, where he played a
Yep.
blue alien. He's like, I don't want to do it again. They're like, here's some blue lipstick.
Yeah.
He's fucking great in it.
He's so
Valkyrie's
good.
great. How she's introduced is great.
Yeah, and
Yes.
she is.
Yes. I love it. I love all her scenes in this
Yeah.
movie.
There's a whole thing where like that version of the character for this movie is such a revision of the character that they ended up working it back into the comics because of how well
Oh, that's
received it
cool.
was. Now I don't read the comics because they're all woke, but I hear that's what they did.
I know. One ear, not the other. In
Look,
ear,
see,
one in.
Joanna, what happened is I forgot to shave the bottom here, so I'm a neckbeard today.
No, I think you're just annoying.
This is what you mean today. Like, this, what?
I usually make an effort to shave.
Oh my gosh.
I included you during a nice lunch today, and you were just mean to me.
This is why you
No, I
like me,
wasn't.
not him.
Didn't pay.
He also still has not taken us out to dinner.
Shut up! Stop bringing it up.
Guys, he hasn't taken us out to dinner yet.
I was trying to be like, hey, I'll never mention it again.
Oh, I am.
if you pay for this right now. And then he didn't do it. And
Well,
I'm
but
like,
Listen.
we went to Outback. It was nice.
Money. Look, I live alone. Money's
So
a
you should have more money.
No. Money is tight, and that's why I want to remind everyone, patreon.com/hackthemovies. Remember, we have that $10 tier. Did you see? Wait. Did you see this? Hold on. Did you see this month's desktop background?
No, you don't show me. No, you didn't show me.
You're the thing in it.
What?
We did a thing-themed desktop background, and you and Sean are both the thing in it. I'll show you afterwards. It's pretty good.
It's really good. Yeah,
It's pretty good. Joe did a great job. It's kind of terrifying.
Really? That was amazing. He's so
And
fucking
Mint
talented.
Salad did the mobile one, which is ET themed. So those are on Patreon.
One day I'll be in one.
Yes.
You want to be the thing?
Be your thing.
Oh, hey.
So the rest of the movie is like Thor trying to like rediscover his powers because his hammer's broken and he's lost his confidence. And he feels betrayed by his father, not knowing this part of history. So he's like, oh man, I was ready to be king and everything, but now I don't know. And I'm sad.
He's questioning life.
Yeah, and he's like, my brother's here. He's an asshole.
Yeah, somehow got there like a week or two early, and
Yeah.
somehow is like included in like the
Time.
Jeff Goldblum.
I
thing or
can see
whatever.
him manipulating his way up the ranks.
He probably was sleeping with them.
I have to
Probably.
be. I can't hold it anymore.
She did it me.
Sorry, drink all that coffee.
She did it me.
So yes, the overall theme of this film, I guess, is finding yourself and learning to regain your confidence. Because all the characters kind of have to do that. The Hulk literally has to find himself because he's hidden Bruce Banner away. I love that the Hulk has aged like a toddler does. So now he's talking, but he's just like, oh, big monster, brah.
Hulk like fire, Thor like water,
Kind of both like fire.
but Hulk like real fire.
Yeah, and it leads to another exciting climax with Asgard, and like I love the twist where like the only way to stop her is to cause Ragnarok, because only Surtur can stop her.
Because she's tied to
She
Asgard.
gets her power from Asgard, and only he can destroy Asgard. So it's like, bye.
The one thing I'm very nitpicky about is this movie. We see the Hulk jumping at giant monster, big huge thing, having absolutely no problem. Like he's actually fighting him with no problems.
Yeah.
It's fine. But apparently Thanos can kick his ass and traumatize him.
Well, Thanos had the stones.
Not all of them yet.
He had the Power Stone though, and that was pretty tough.
I don't know. I think it's sus.
I don't think they ever really
I think it's sus.
equal out in the movies. of who
Well,
they're
to be fair, he never got to
fighting
like finish that fight with Surtur, so he probably thought he had a chance.
I just like how he was just like, what?
Big monsters. No. But no, it's a good time. The comedy is on point.
Yes, it is.
They went.
When Loki shows up, like, your savior is here.
Yes.
I lost it.
So yeah, you're right. They went. Even though some of the comedic elements were in here were good, it was surrounded by drab. Blah.
Yeah.
And it didn't have a good balance. This leans more into the comedy, but it knows when to be sincere. like,
Yes,
it perfected
it
it.
does.
yeah,
This is my favorite Marvel movie.
Oh,
yes.
absolutely.
Valkyrie's like whole backstory is
Fucking
beautifully
love.
done with like it looks like a painting
oh
almost.
my gosh, and it's so sad. Like,
Yeah.
it's good. You
hi-
feel things in this. You actually feel for the characters. You enjoy it. It's a great journey. It's a great ride. Like,
and then they raise the stakes. Like the Warriors 3 are dead.
Thor loses his eye.
Thor loses his eye.
yeah.
Thor, speaking of something that this movie gained, Thor wears a goddamn helmet in a fight scene. I'm like, thank you. Thank you. It's not as nice as the other helmet. It's not as nice as this helmet. But I was like, finally.
Also, short hair Thor.
Oh yeah, Stan Lee cuts his hair.
Yeah.
I like how it's like sloppily done. There's still like cuts and stuff in it.
Yeah.
But it's still like styled. It's nice.
And we joked about this in the Hulk episode. It was funny seeing like everyone bitch about Ang Lee's Hulk fighting 3 dogs. And this movie, he's fighting a giant wolf and no one cared. I'm like, you sons of bitches made fun of me for years about him fighting a poodle. And now you're like, oh,
It's
he's
a different type of
whatever.
little.
Whatever.
Was it Fenrir? Fenrir? I don't remember how
knows?
to say it.
Um,
It's Fenrir or something like that.
But yeah, they have the whole thing where it's just like, you know, Asgard is its people. And they're like, where are we going to go? Where are we going to go next? He's like, Earth. It's like, are you going to ask for permission?
Yeah.
My favorite part, the best joke I think in this is Korg. You know, like, oh, like, look, it's not that bad. We can rebuild.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then it blows up completely.
He's like, oh, no, it's gone now.
We can rebuild this place.
Now those foundations are gone. Sorry.
Played by Taika Waititi. Yeah, Korg is very
bad.
different than his comic counterpart. Same with Meek. I have to look up who the bad guy was. I forget if it was Meek. or if it was Meek worker. I know one of the bugs betrays Hulk. That's the sad part, the end of Planet Hulk. So let me recap Planet Hulk for you. It's basically like Gladiator or Conan the Barbarian. He like arrives there. He's like a slave. He works his way up as a gladiator. And he ends up being the ruler. And it's finally like a world where he like fits in with everyone.
Yeah.
And he dominates over them. And his wife is there and she's pregnant. And then a bomb goes off and everyone fucking dies.
Oh.
But it goes off in like thinking like a ship from Earth. So he blames the Avengers, which is why he goes back and does World War Hulk and like declares vengeance on all of them. They obviously didn't do that in this one.
They did not do
They
that
just
at all
did
whatsoever.
Hulk in space as a gladiator.
That's
I'm
what
like, would have been nice to have just seen that actual story play out, but what are you going to do? He fights the Silver Surfer and shit in that. That's a good fucking book.
That actually sounds like fun.
In the animated Planet Hulk movie, it's Beta Ray Bill, who they reference in this. That's the pterodactyl-looking dinosaur man who dresses like Thor. The big building that Jeff Goldblum's in, one of the statues, I don't know if it is Beta Ray Bill, but it looks like one of his aliens. Huh. So I'm waiting for him to come back. The weird thing is they don't mention Sif. I'm sure Johanna is on her phone right now looking up why they didn't mention Sif. Did you learn anything?
What?
Anyway.
Yeah, they don't mention her at all
Yeah.
whatsoever. You're just like, where'd she go?
And I'm glad they got
Do we know?
I'm actually glad they got rid of Jane. We forgot to mention, so
Oh yeah, there's barely any Jane in it.
Patty Jenkins was supposed to direct this film.
Okay.
And she ended up not doing it for creative difference and whatnot. Sure. And apparently Natalie Portman was
That's
pissed
what it
about
was.
that.
Yeah.
That's why she didn't want to come back, and they wrote her out. And I remember at the time people being like, "Yeah, that's fine. Who cares?" He's single now. But yes, in the comics, they started working in Lady Thor.
Oh my god.
Mighty Thor.
Which is funny because there was already a character called Thor Girl, and it's like, well, maybe promote them. And they're like, nope. And I'm like, oh wow, so there's this new Thor, and it's a woman. And it's like, wow, I wonder what they're doing there. And then they announced it was Jane Foster. And I called it years ago. I said, they're going to use this to bring her back. They're like, hey, sorry, we made you mad, but you get to be Thor now. And sure enough, Comic-Con, she comes out with the hammer. And I'm like, I knew it. I knew it. Woke.
Oh my god.
From what I hear, that book didn't sell well. Yes.
So the last one.
Yes, we are on to
Or
the
the
last
least-
one. Taika Waititi nailed it. Everyone likes Taika now. He's acting and stuff. He's showing up and stuff. He's on those terrible Star Wars shows you like. He's in some animated films. Now he's back. They're like, our savior's back. We're doing Thor, Love and Thunder. Man Thor, Woman Thor, Valkyrie, who's kind of already like a woman. She probably should have been Thor, technically. And all these other characters, they're back. And it's
Remember when the synopsis of this, whatever, when they were talking about it, when they first announced it was supposed to be like, yeah, obviously, you know, Natalie Portman was going to be Mighty Thor, but then there was also supposed to be a little story about, you know, Valkyrie being king and needing to find like a queen.
I wish I
That
saw
was,
that.
that was a thing, but they're not going to do it because
I
God
would-
forbid the gays are bad. Fuck you, Disney.
They talk a lot. There's a lot of gay references though in this.
Yeah, this is one of the gayer ones.
But it wasn't in a nice subtle.
Subtle.
We'll go subtle.
You're not really supposed to say the B, but keep going.
What? Oh yeah, subtle. See, when there's words, I can see it in my head because I'm a visual person, and then I try to say it. That's okay. So subtle. It was just like in your face kind of thing, like
Yeah,
man
a little
and
bit.
man
like it
hold
was, like,
hands, and
subdued into one scene though, because it was like, yeah,
it was very
yeah,
like
let me-
it was very.
We'll talk about that.
gay
So
scene.
So I didn't really know this till yesterday. I was like, let me look up more about this movie because I saw it the other day. I had a nice gym session and then I walked to the movie theater and I was like, time to watch Thor 4. They should have put a 4 in the title. The 8 should have been a 4.
I think we've grown past that.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like
Just a
hack the
little.
movies.
Yeah, Hack the Movies used to have a 3 in the title.
Why?
I don't know.
You thought it looked cool.
Yeah, so I'm looking up the writers, right? And the writers for this one are Taika Waititi and then a woman who's written like 3 films before this that aren't like action films at all. And I went, oh no, they Wonder Woman 84'd it. So Patty Jenkins, everyone loved her directing in Wonder Woman, and it was good. I liked Wonder Woman until the end, but even she admits it was kind of schlocky at the end. But for some reason, she didn't write that movie. I don't get why studios are now being like, you can write it next
Probably 'cause
time.
it saves them money.
Maybe, but what happens is Wonder Woman 84, she wrote it with Jeff Johns, who's a comic writer, but not a film writer. And she doesn't really know Wonder Woman, like, stories, how to write them, and that was a mess. I think that's what happened with this.
Yeah.
You get Taika, and then you get a girl who hasn't written it, and they're just doing whatever. This movie, apparently, he said there's like an 8-hour cut.
What?
Yeah. There was a lot. Jeff Goldblum got cut out of this movie. Peter Dinklage got cut out of this movie. Lena Headey got cut out of this movie.
I would love to see those scenes.
Yes, all got cut out. I think they just did way too much. I think everyone was so high on Taika Waititi. They're like, you can do no wrong. And we've seen this before with other filmmakers. Like, you go nuts with your next one. Be as crazy as you want. You're great. And then they just go way too far.
It's too much.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It is too much. And as I sat in the theater, now a lot of people are really hating this. And there's one reviewer that did a review really shitting on it. And then our friend Trixie.
I saw.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Our friend Trixie broke down this reviewer's review of the film.
Nice.
And it's funny because I agree with a lot of his complaints and whatnot, but he's getting all the small details wrong, and she thinks he didn't watch the movie.
That's funny.
He thinks he looked up Wikipedia and stuff and then just tried to guess based off trailers because he's got a lot of details wrong. Anyway, I texted you. And I was like, I think I have like whiplash or something. Like the tonal
what did you say?
I was like, I think that movie gave me whiplash or like from all the tonal shifts. They didn't know how to balance it.
They had no idea how to balance it.
And the thing is, do you think this movie could have been saved with just a little bit of editing?
Jesus Christ. Was the tone of that flick all over the place?
Yes. This movie could have been saved in editing. They let comedic moments go on too long.
Yes, they did.
And an example of this, when we meet Zeus. Oh, by the way, Christian Bale, my co-star.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
But actually, they had to change the character because of you people.
Why?
In the comics, he's
What do you mean, my people?
Well, I'll get to that in a second. In the comics, he
can still win everyone.
He's more alien looking and he has no nose and he's very pale. And then I think they said, he would look too much like Voldemort. So they changed his appearance so he didn't resemble Voldemort.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway.
Shitty. I would have liked to see that.
Anyway, he's like a guy who like loves his god and then he's betrayed by his god when he finds out that they're assholes. So his daughter
dies.
His daughter dies.
Big important part. His daughter dies.
Yes, and his faith is completely like shattered, and he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna kill all the gods.
So when
got
you
the necro
see
sword.
that scene, I feel like that scene alone sets you up for the tone of the movie because you're looking at this god, and I was like, this is super cheesy and really bad acting and just a lot. So I think that was honestly the worst scene in the entire movie.
I thought it was. I liked it. I wasn't off board yet.
Because I think because it took me off because I didn't know what to expect as much.
No.
So I was watching that and I'm like, oh, this is bad. But then the rest as it goes, I was just like, oh, it makes sense now. Like the tone just kind of. I think it was like a shock, and then it kind of eased.
Yeah, I was fine with it. I thought it fit well. Whatever it was showing that gods can be pieces of shit. And it just happens to be. This
I like
god.
the idea. I think it was him himself playing that role. Like I think it was the act. I think it was just the way it was portrayed.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So the gods know they're being hunted. Thor is worried. He's had fun adventures with Guardians of the Galaxy, but he's ready to go solo.
Guardians of the Galaxy. I was so happy to see them in that.
Me too. I love Chris Pratt and everything he's ever done. But yeah, the Guardians were great. I wish we could have seen just a little bit more of their adventures.
I do too.
I was fine with it being what it was. It's supposed to be a Thor movie, not freaking Guardians of the Galaxy.
I like that they helped him get into shape.
It was so funny.
I mean, I don't know why he couldn't just stay with the beer gut. I would have felt represented, but whatever.
We don't need to represent you.
I guess Taika Waititi doesn't care about
I'm
me.
a dad.
No, he doesn't care about you.
No.
I'm a dad bod kind of girl. I rather
look who I'm marrying.
That's mean. Ian's a nice looking guy.
Ian literally
He said
talks
it
about
was a
how he has a
dad bod.
dad bod all the time. Like, what?
That poor guy. We got to get him on a treadmill. We
No, we don't. He's so hot.
We got to rebuild that man. Anyway,
Rebuild him. Jesus Christ.
it's an expression some asshole uses. Who's currently getting canceled
Next.
by the right wing. What a shock!
Oh no.
So yeah, the gods are being attacked and whatnot. So they go to Omnipotent City to talk to the other gods, and I got an issue with this scene. But here's the prime example of what I'm talking about. Zeus comes out, and he's doing funny lightning bolt stuff, like boop, boop,
Which
boop,
is
boop,
fine.
boop.
It's Zeus.
It's fine. It's fine.
It keeps
And then the scene
going.
progresses, and then he comes down. He's got the lightning bolt, and he does more funny stuff, and it's like,
That was too much.
It was too much. Yeah. That
and there
entire
are
scene.
multiple scenes like this where I'm like, oh,
It doesn't stop. Yeah, it just keeps going.
let's trim this down. What's going on? Why did you leave all this in?
They're like, oh, it's Russell Crowe.
Yeah, apparently they had to do 2 takes each time because he didn't know which accent he wanted to do.
Oh
If he
my
wanted to
God.
have like an American accent or the Greek accent,
That's
I guess
kinda
was what
funny.
he's trying.
But yeah,
yeah.
it went on way too long, and I'm just like, oh, like.
And also like,
But also, there's so many. I wanted to know more about the different gods that were in there, and I wanted to see them do something.
well, here's my problem.
Do something.
Here's my problem with the gods. So like we've established in this series that like the gods are just other beings.
that are just dickheads.
And they're just like supreme, like they're just higher life forms.
Yeah.
And some kind of like hang together, but others kind of do their own thing.
Yeah, and I guess celestials are included in gods. Like
Yeah.
maybe they refer to themselves as, because there are celestials in
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Maybe they refer to themselves as celestials, but God is like the colloquial term, I guess. And like, I'm like, all right, I can believe this, I can believe that. And then the fucking cartoon dumpling, that's the god of dumplings. I'm like,
Yep. But then if you're
It
going to
was
do
so
that,
cute.
I don't think it worked. I could see
went
They
that.
needed
Weird.
to just be seen once. I don't know why they kept showing it.
that or at least show other weird things of gods.
Like that would have
other
been
weird
funny in
gods.
like maybe a different movie.
I giggled.
The way we've established like the
It's
gods and
cute.
stuff in this cinematic universe, I'm like, all right, that's a little too much.
It also looked really out of place.
Yeah, it did.
Looked really out of
It
place.
did. They have so many gods there, except for our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Now, I was upset about this, and I was ready to write a letter to Marvel, and I said, "You're erasing Christians." But then I
Jesus
realized
wouldn't be God though.
he is. He's all three in one. But I realized why they left him out, because there would be no stakes because you can't beat Jesus. He's the strongest. So I'm glad they left him out, because it's like,
Badass Jesus.
yes, he is the strongest. What 12 years of Catholic school taught me that.
I would like to see, Jesus all of a sudden step in and be like Thor's sidekick. That would be great. Yeah.
That would be pretty funny.
That would be awesome.
But then Thor can go to.
Yes. Like it just comes down out of nowhere.
But now I feel bad that Jesus is in it, because it's like Daredevil is the really Christian Catholic superhero, and we just saw the God Planet, and like I want someone to be like, hey, by the way, Matt Murdock, Daredevil, Jesus is real, and he thinks you're cool. And then Daredevil will be like, well, I feel better about myself.
Or, Jesus is doing his own thing, because even they said
Yeah, you slowly learn that all the gods here, I think the Shang-Chi dragon god is there.
Was it the same dragon?
I think
I don't think it was the same dragon.
So you find out, Ra's there, and I guess that explains why he's not Moon Knight. You find out that all these gods are just assholes.
Yup.
And they don't care about the increasing
They just
dread.
care about themselves.
They're like, how many people were sacrificed and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
They're saying all the other
Jesus.
guys are menial gods. And
Yeah,
stuff
he's like
that.
the
Yeah.
lower level gods. Yeah, just the comedy is a little too wacky. And it sucks because I like the overall story.
Yeah.
I like the plan. I guess we won't spoil it too much, but like, they're like the Gorr is Christian Bale's character. He is, they don't know, but he is manipulating. There's a reason he's targeting the Asgardians, and he's manipulating them to get them to a certain point, because he has to use certain things to carry on his prime mission, which is to meet Eternity, which is a character I thought would never show up in a Marvel movie. And he's not really a character, but he's there.
He's just there.
He's there, and I thought that was really, really clever. And along
That's
this
great.
mission, you find out that Jane Foster has cancer.
Yep. Well, no, you don't find out along the
Yeah, you
mission.
find out-
Well,
right at
before
the
that.
beginning. It's like, here's the montage with the Guardians of the Galaxy. By the way, cut.
Yeah.
Boom.
Cancer.
Yeah, again, tonal shift. It's like we probably should have eased into this scene.
I liked the way they played it.
Yeah,
out.
I was
she's
fine
just
with
getting
that.
yeah, she's just there getting chemo. You actually
Oh.
slowly realize she's getting chemo and she has the guys
Coming out of the MRI.
Yeah,
Speaking
I
speaking
thought
of
that was done
things,
well.
speaking of things that could have been cut, why are we explaining wormholes and black holes in Thor 4, which is like the 7th or 8th Thor movie, where this universe has already established portals and black holes? And
I think it's not explaining that. I think it's explaining her involvement and what she's been doing.
I
and
guess,
her-
but
I think it's more explaining her and who she is more than about the
you
black
could have
holes.
did
A slight reintroduction.
and I love so
Yeah.
this is like a
Seeing
thing.
that she's been successful, she's been doing everything
Yeah.
well.
And she hasn't
it's-
been seen
because it's-
since 2.
That's
Yeah,
true, but like
I think this movie's a lot about more like their relationship
yeah.
than it is more about the overall character and his adventures as much. I think it's more about like how Jane has evolved into a different person and how where Thor has been and just being a
I get that, but I'm saying is, and they even call out the other movies, Interstellar and Event Horizon. I'd never want to see the folded paper with the pen through it, black hole explanation ever again. Like,
It wasn't bad.
Come
It
up
was-
with
it
something
hard
else.
saying it to a kid.
and I love that they want. You bet they wrote it, and they're like, well, they're gonna mention those movies. Like, oh, we'll just call out the movie so we won't get called out. It's like, but I like her. This is Darcy's only scene, as
Yeah.
far as I can remember. So apparently, she went to Norway, and okay, so the hammers are sentient now. Did you get any impression that they were sentient before that?
So
No.
like I got it kind of with Mjolnir, but like it doesn't make sense with Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
No,
so,
it doesn't make sense.
It's so weird. It's like a jealous girlfriend. Like,
Yeah.
That's exact. I was
So-
like, wow, that they
Like, what
pushed
is
that a
this?
little too hard. I wouldn't mind it being a little bit in there, like you see a little bit of personality in in them, but there was a lot.
Yeah. So there's kind of like an issue here. So you find out that he told Mjolnir, like, protect her,
yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
after their little montage. I like the
Yeah.
little montage. By
Yes,
the
the
way.
montage. So
That worked very well.
So
That's
she
really cool.
goes there, and the hammer reforges for her. But it's like, wait a minute. Why didn't Thor ever think? Like, when Thor finally became Thor again at the end of Endgame, and he had Stormbreaker, and he was wielding the other Mjolnir, and he was Thor. Why wouldn't the original Mjolnir forge and then go back to him? This is a little inconsistent, I feel. But whatever, she's Thor now. So yeah, and that's pretty much the mission. They got to stop the God Killer, and they got to save their Asgardian kids that are kidnapped. The visual effects, holy shit!
I don't think they were any bad as the last movie.
No, Heimdall has a son now. Somehow has a son, and when his face
look.
is floating, he's like, "Oh, help
So
me!"
I'm excusing this
Yeah.
only because he said he's not very what's the
Yeah.
word I'm looking for? Skilled with any of the powers
Yes.
yet.
But then-
that's the only reason I excuse it. It still looks like shit,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, but that's the only reason I excuse it.
But then the
Yeah.
problem is that kid also can't act, and I know it's hard to act as a kid, but it's like you can't get me a bad visual effect and a kid
I
who
don't
can't
know,
act.
look at
I didn't
Leia.
mind,
and,
but I did
Okay.
go the joke, the Axel.
Yeah, oh,
like,
yeah.
okay, you can at least like, oh, Axel wrote, like,
Yeah.
just say it once. You don't have to say it like 50 times.
Yes.
We get it.
So there's that, and then all right. So Omnipotent City, completely fake thing, looks great.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thor and the mighty Thor, in the fish, in the village on Earth at night, is the fakest looking thing ever. I think that was all a reshoot.
Yeah.
And they're both digitally airbrushed, but they are digitally airbrushing the shit out of Natalie Portman. I'm watching, I'm like, they're like colored a little weird, and she's like way too smooth. And the CGI helmets.
I think her helmet looked the worst.
It did. It did.
Guys, just settle on a design ahead of time and commit to it. I feel like they do this thing where like, we don't know what the helmet should look like. We'll just digitally put it on.
Well, also, Thor's helmet changed quite a few times.
Oh, well,
throughout this
yeah, it turns
movie.
out he could like change it and like, but yeah,
right.
his helmet looked terrible.
It did.
Like, I'm fine with like the overall design. It's just the CGI is so bad in that scene.
And Natalie Portman with her helmet on, it just she looked weird.
Yeah.
She looked weird. And like,
Yeah.
you honestly, you look at her and you're like, that doesn't even look like Natalie Portman.
Loki wears a fucking helmet that's a real helmet and it looks fine. So yeah, that
Tom
was weird.
Hiddleston just commits.
Yeah, another problem of them like trying to be too funny and wasting our time. The beginning of the movie explains what happened in Ragnarok with Odin.
Yeah.
But because they like doing the play scene in the previous movie, they then tell you again with the play that grinds the movie to a halt so Melissa McCarthy could come out. Woke.
Literally, as soon as she came out, all you hear, and there was not many people in this audience.
Yeah.
Groan.
My entire theater groaned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
You're like, why?
again with Tone, I guess they had Matt Damon and what's his face for an extra day. So the kids.
I laughed when I saw Matt.
Yeah.
I laughed when I saw them, and then and I was like, okay. And then I was like, wow, this play is like happening way too long.
Yeah.
And then Melissa McCarthy came out. I was like,
And it's telling you
make it stop.
And it's telling you what we already know. And then,
Yeah, it
so the
does.
kids get kidnapped, and now this should be a serious scene. The stakes are raised. We got to take this seriously and come up with a plan. No, they cut away to Matt Damon, the guy talking about if they should make a play about it. It's like, not the time. Cut this out.
I don't like that either because it's showing. I personally, they were like, oh, because in a time like this, we need entertainment, blah 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 blah. And I'm like I think like time crisis, like that is a true statement.
Yeah.
But now you're just like making fun of it.
I'm just talking about runtime for these fucking things. Like, get that out. Cut that out.
I think the only joke bit should have been the Meek thing. I thought that was funny.
What was that? I don't even remember the Meek thing.
Meek was written on the whiteboard.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
That
okay.
was okay.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? There was something about this. There was like a story time in the beginning when some other creature was telling a story, and then
Korg is constantly
Korg.
telling like the story of
was
everything.
it Korg was he the one telling the story in the very beginning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
like his voice.
He's like,
But then you don't see that again.
no.
Right.
Then he comes back and tells the story of Jane,
At the end, yeah.
and then he wraps up the film with his
sorry.
story time. Speaking of like tonal moments,
There was so much that's happened in this
look,
movie.
look.
Because there was multiple story times. Multiple story
Yes.
times in this movie. That's why I'm like, wait.
And here's a story time that ruins the flow of the film. Look, Korg can have two gay rock dads. That's fine. That's fine.
Did wrap up at the end.
But we're having a moment with Thor and Jane like catching up, and it's like serious, and it's like a slow
And it
part.
was pretty. And it was nice.
And then they chop it in half so they can have Korg singing a wacky song.
Yeah.
And talking about his two gay dads, and then Valkyrie being like, I hope I meet a lady one day. And then it goes back. It's like, could you have put this information anywhere else?
Literally was just like, oh yeah, we were supposed to put some gay stuff in. By the way, let's put it all in the scene. Okay, have fun, bye.
And that part's kind of me because then like all you're really doing is setting up like a 2-second gay joke at the end of the film. Like I don't
That's
think you
all it
needed
was.
to interrupt
Well,
this
then
scene.
there was also the part with Valkyrie with Gorr, which I really like that scene. That whole when they were tied up.
Oh yeah, no, that was fine. No, that was fine.
There was also the one
But
where
they bring up the girlfriend again. That's fine.
Yeah.
well, they also bring it up when Valkyrie's like, oh, we play on the same team. That I actually liked. That one I thought
yeah, there was
cute,
stuff like
funny.
that, but I just don't
both
like.
Team Jane.
Yeah.
Like I think the editor should have been like, "Hey,
should've
can
been a
we
lot
not like?"
Also, space dolphins, really?
That's a DC Comics thing, by the way. Lobo loves the space dolphins in DC Comics. I'm just saying.
But like,
Yeah, I think
there
overall
is a
the
little
movie.
too forced stuff. I liked the movie. I
Yeah.
did. I thought it was a fun adventure.
Yeah.
It was
I
more of
enjoyed
a
it.
comedy. I truly did enjoy it.
I enjoyed it. I love that they worked in the Thor goats. I joked when I
Oh my
reviewed.
god, they're funny.
Giant goats.
Look at those. They are wonderful.
Yes, they are. They also scream quite a lot.
When I reviewed the second movie, like a long time ago, I talked about how I wanted to see the goats and I wanted to see Throg. And the Loki show showed us Throg only for a second. And now we have the goats. And I will admit, every time they screamed, I cracked up. I couldn't.
You want to know why they scream?
Why?
Like that? Remember that joke? Like it was like I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago.
No.
The Taylor Swift song. She's like, "I knew you were in trouble when you walked in," and then it would cut to the screaming goat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was that. That.
That's actually what that video actually
Yeah.
came in my head as soon as I heard that. Because
only-
I actually I want screaming goats really bad.
The only time I didn't like is when
I was gonna say when they crashed into the planet.
Yeah, I'm like,
That was a little too
That was
bad.
it. That should have been it.
not that this isn't the
But I
moment.
do love that scene. I love the contrast with the colors.
Yeah.
I like that,
So-
but there was also, and I love the light when she's lighting everything with her hammer, and like you still see color on her face. I
Yeah.
really like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that. I am happy they didn't overplay the goats though. You could have overplayed that where you got
Yeah.
really annoying, and I think that they did it a nice
Yeah.
balance. Too bad they didn't do it with the rest of the comedy.
Yeah. But no, there is a good story here.
I think so.
And again, with editing, I think you can like I kind of want to I never
Well,
do this.
that-
I never do
We're
this,
not doing
but
spoilers, right?
not really
Because I
no.
was gonna say like that's my issue. Like with the end,
Yeah.
with the big reveal, whatever. why wasn't that sprinkled more in to show
Yeah.
that there was like a big, like obviously it's a big deal because of what we were shown in the beginning, but
Yeah.
like why can't we have like another like, or maybe 1 or 2 flashbacks somewhere in there
Yeah.
instead of these like drawn out jokes that are
Yeah.
getting real stale.
I think they were like, comedy's the way to go, and it's like,
Too much.
It was too much.
I think the
This
Loki.
was just like, okay,
forced.
this was
No.
dark, this was perfect, and then the other was too much.
I
Yeah.
don't mind it being a straight comedy, but don't force
Not with that
it.
story.
Yeah.
Don't.
I
I'm
don't,
okay with that
I don't
story.
think, not
Yeah.
with this story. I
If
think it
you-
was too funny
Yeah.
for this story.
I think it was okay if it was like you were saying, if it was edited down, I
Yeah.
think we would feel a little different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it would still be more of a straight comedy, but not as long of a joke or
Yes.
just.
But
I want to see
Christian
the other-
Bale nails it as the villain.
Oh yeah, I wanted more.
He was so.
And I like
good.
Kate Blanchett. She was really good too, but I really like Christian Bale.
They
in this.
used her more than him.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay. Well, I'm
Yeah.
not okay with it, whatever, because like
I've heard
I'd
other
rather have it the same.
I've
but-
heard other reviewers say this, and I was like, it's kind of true. Like, I feel like he might have thought he was in a completely different, because like
It looks like he just like walks on set.
all
like,
his
hey.
scenes, all his scenes are like
Yeah.
serious and stuff. So I can imagine him if he didn't read the full script, like watching the movie afterwards, be like, what the fuck
They
did I
try
just
to do
act
a
in?
kooky thing with him with the how exciting.
Yeah,
I think he did a few kooky things, like when they were in what was it, like that cave?
yeah.
Like that's where you actually see a little bit more
Yeah.
of him, but you also see us. I like the way he played it. He only played it like almost like a Joker kind of
Yeah.
style.
Well, he's being corrupted by the sword, so
Yeah.
it's not like really him.
Well, he's also dying from
Yes.
the sword.
Yes. But no, I think it's a real miss for me. But now that we've talked about all 4 solo films, what do you think? We'll go down the list. What do you think is the best and worst? No. What do you think is the best Thor movie?
Ragnarok. I
Okay.
think that's an obvious one.
Yeah, same. Ragnarok. I literally just said it's my favorite Marvel movie. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's clearly a winner
Yeah.
there. Ragnarok is amazing.
I think Ragnarok might be the best.
Yeah.
Although I really
Hands down.
I really do like the first one, but there are some script issues I have with
Yeah.
that.
I think the
whereas this
best-
is pretty solid.
Yeah, I think the best and the worst are obvious answers.
Well, so what do you think is the worst?
It's The Dark World. It was just bleh.
Yeah.
It's the most forgettable movie out of all of them. It's just bleh. All it did was it helped further the story along, but that's all it was. All it was
It's not rewatchable. You can't go back.
It's
like
not.
I could throw in Ragnarok without having to watch
Yeah.
anything else and be
Yeah.
like, I don't care. This is
yeah.
like it.
All it was an information. That's all it was.
Or 2.
It was bleh.
So that's the worst one.
Fucking terrible.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's fucking terrible.
I get what you're saying about Thor 2 being like forgettable and stuff, but like, yeah, it's tough.
It's just
Maybe it
bleh.
is Thor 2, but the Love and Thunder is very close behind it.
So I'm Ragnarok, Love and Thunder,
No,
Thor.
no.
Yeah, I
love Thor. Oh, you know what pisses me off? I love the music in the first Thor movie, and
It's
they
good.
never bring back the theme once for Thor Ragnarok when he sits on the throne. But I'm like, that was a cool theme. They came up with the hero, and then like he has no consistent superhero theme. And I'm like, but was it Patrick Doyley? I'm like, or Alexander Desplat, one of them. I'm like, oh, that musical score is really nice. Why don't they ever fucking use it ever again? I think I enjoy the first one the most still. But yeah, I guess we're in agreement. Ragnarok is probably the best.
Probably it is.
It
Yes.
is the
Like,
best.
that's
I
not a
think-
debate.
I think that Thor and Love and Thunder to me are very, very close. But
Same.
but if I'm to rewatch one of them, I know I watch things based on my mood. And Thor is too up and down, so I don't know where I stand.
Yeah.
If I just want to watch something like to turn my brain off, I'm turning on Love and
Yeah.
Thunder. I will rewatch Love and Thunder more than I would watch the original
Same.
Thor.
Okay.
No, I agree.
Because I think it's fun. It's something I can just turn my brain off and just kind of enjoy. I think it's an enjoyable movie.
Occasionally you look up, you got a good looking person. That's nice.
Oh my god, he's naked. I was
Yes,
like, yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Oh,
Thor,
and then like the
I
stupid
thought that
tattoos
was-
on the back.
I thought that
like,
was gratuitous. As
oh,
is
yeah,
the
Loki
scene.
tattoo. Oh my god.
The scene in Thor 2 where for no reason he's like washing his abs. I'm like, that is you're exploiting
You wish you looked like
Chris
that.
Hemsworth, and
wish you looked like that.
you know what?
shit out
He
of him.
sets an unrealistic beauty standard that I can't
I
match
want
to,
to
and
see.
we should have more
I
realistic
want to see
superheroes.
more Chris Pratt. If I had to pick, I pick Chris Pratt out of all of them.
I know a church that he goes to. We can go there.
Like, is it around here?
No, but we could probably see him and Schwarzenegger's daughter because he's married to her. We'll go there sometime. We're gonna start going back to church. Yes.
I'll create the sins in the church.
I am glad that this didn't turn into Guardians 3. People thought that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was happy that they were just in the beginning.
Yeah.
That's it.
I
Bye.
wouldn't have minded seeing them one more time kind of pop up, maybe
Yeah.
at the end. But at the end
I'm
also
sure
had
they
a lot of
filmed-
weird wrap-ups.
I'm sure they filmed extra stuff with them and just didn't use it.
Well, I
Yeah.
want to see those other ones.
I really don't know what Lena Headey did. Her company that represents her in America or whatever are suing the film right now for cutting her
Really?
out. I don't think she purposely is. I think her representatives
that's
are
weird.
suing for cutting her out. Maybe it was some contract
crazy.
thing.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But what did you guys think of the after cut? There was 2 of them.
I didn't care.
They were just kind of just
Yeah.
there, and you don't really get.
I don't
much.
care about that character, and then
I don't care about the new introduced character, and then it was just a nice little oh,
no.
Yeah.
okay, and also nice to see that one man because I'm yes, you
Oh
are. So
yeah, I
attractive.
would love to see more. Of
I guess
that.
you know what really did hurt.
I would love to see that entire as a movie, even without Thor.
I think-
I would
Yeah.
love to see that world.
Honestly, I think Loki missing hurts it. But he has his own TV show.
think that
Check
would
that
be-
out.
I think that would be adding so much. There's already so
No.
much
I mean,
in there.
no.
And then
Obviously
fit
you
with the
can't put
one
him in this
barn.
version of the story. But now I'm realizing, wow, I think
Loki carries everything.
Loki was really carrying
Yeah.
a lot of these movies. Now
Especially
that he's
two.
and now that
If
he's
you-
gone,
If you took that comedy and gave that comedy more to Loki in this
Yeah.
movie, that could have also balanced it more
yeah.
too.
although Loki is killing it in the show. But yes, that is it from us. This is our best and worst Thor movie.
Which ones do you guys like more? Do you guys like Love and Thunder more or the original? The
Yes.
first one.
Let us
Curious about
know. Is Love and Thunder woke? Is that why it's the worst? Let us know. Do you like Taika Waititi? Do you like Alan Taylor?
I
Or
don't
do
know.
you,
I like Natalie Portman with the strong arms.
The-
I'm a-
people-
I like
strong
Tessa
arm,
Thompson.
people are actually petitioning to bring Kenneth Branagh back. I think he only did this in Cinderella.
Yeah.
I think he only played ball with Disney so he can make enough money to do other shit.
Yeah.
He rebooted Jack Ryan also. But now he's doing those movies, The Death on the Nile and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So check those out. Follow us on Patreon, like, share, and subscribe. Call our voicemail line and all that fun stuff.
Let us
and
hear ya.
We'll see you all later. I'm not gonna do the bye Frost thing. Goodbye.
Bye.
We are waiting for the Dark Souls of fighting games. Let us have it. We're ready.
Soul Edge has nothing on a lightsaber. I'm sorry.
James Earl Jones comes back.
No.
Oh no! Oh!
I don't think kids trade games
Yeah.
anymore. I need that sense of accomplishment, and it wasn't there. And I think that was a major flaw.
The way they engineer these is just phenomenal.
As much as you're into the comics, I was very into the toys, so I was on the message board all the time.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.